Welcome. In today's Linux Central Programming, we are going to deal about types of systems. There are two types. The first one is single user system and the second one is multi-user systems. In single user system, it can be defined as only it can be used by one person at a time. For example, a PC, that is a personal computer, it can be set as an example for the single user system. The single user operating system for that, MS-DOS is an example. The next type is multi-user system. As the name says, more than one worker can work simultaneously on a multi-user system. As it's the example, system unit consists of processor, disks, tapes, floppy disks, and terminals are being connected, and the communication line has been established with these individual systems, and with the help of multi-user, printer also can be connected. This is the example of the multi-user system. Multi-user operating systems examples are Linux, Unix, Windows anti-terminal server can be set. So more than one user can connect to the system and work concurrently at any point in time. Concurrency can be achieved with the only help of multi-user OS. Next comes multiprocessing, multitasking, multi-threading, and multi-user. Multiprocessing, multitasking, multi-threading, multi-user have different working concept of principles. Basic concepts of a multi-user system. As I already said, it consists of several terminals attached so that various users can able to work simultaneously. So there are two types. One is a small terminal and the second one is a dumb terminal. Dumb terminal means only it acts as the interface between the user and the system. It does not have a hard disk or any processing nature. It only have monitor and a keyboard so that it acts only as an interface. In the second small terminal, as the name suggests, it has its own CPU, peripherals, and it works in independent nature. These are the nature of operating system types like single user, multi-user, multitasking, multi-threading, etc. Now we will see about the advantages and disadvantages of Windows. Advantages of Windows is it is familiar, it is easy to use, you can have previously installed gaming apps and you can able to easily update. But at the same time, the disadvantages are it is very expensive. There is the original version of the Windows OS is very expensive. It is not secure. That means you can able to face many virus attacks and it is not stable. Now we'll see about the advantages and disadvantages of Linux. The advantages are it is free. It is not at all expensive. It is free. There is a main and the first advantage is free. And it needs only low PC requirement. And the third and most important point is it is very, very secure. And also it has some disadvantages. It is you cannot able to make all the software run in Linux. It is not familiar to use and it is hard to learn, use and install. These are the disadvantages of Linux. Next comes general concept like mobile operating system. If you take Symbian OS, iPhone, BlackBerry, Windows, Linux, Palm OS, these are the different types of mobile OS that supports today's smartphones. Now we enter into Linux. Linux. The first and foremost point in Linux is it is FOSS. FOSS in nature means free open source software. What it is? It means you have the liberty and it is not related to price or cost. Free means it is fully free. And open, the source code is available and anybody can contribute to the development. The nature of the source code can be contributed by an individual also. And organization independent is based on this software nature. So FOSS free open source software means it is of cost free and the source code is available open nature. Now we'll see about the history. How come the Linux developed? In 1964, the first OS like Multics was developed, and in 1969 Unix was developed, and in 19 Minix was developed, and 91 Linux comes into existence. These are the various travel history of the Linux. The first one, Multics, it has been abbreviated as Multiplexed Information and Computing Service, returned in 1964. and it is a time-sharing operating system. Next comes the Unix. It is called as Uniplexed Information and Computing System. It is later renamed as Unix, and it is written in the year 1969. The developers are Ken Thompson and Denise Ritchie. It is also said as a multi-user, multitasking, and time sharing. Previously, what you saw in Multics is it is just only time sharing. Here it is multi-user and multitasking. And in 1973, the Thomson and Ritchie, both the developers, rewrote the Unix operating system in C. 1974, that particular developed Unix was being licensed to universities for using educational purposes. So vendors like Sun, IBM and Hewlett Packard, they purchased this source code and developed their own version. But the main disadvantages is source code are not freely available. So the developers have to wait for a long time if they face some errors, and they have to wait for a long time to be fixed. So this is the disadvantages they faced when the Unix was in existence. Next, they developed Unix operating system. It is abbreviated as Minimal Unix. Tenenbaum, the author, developed this operating system. Here also, the Tenenbaum developed this Unix only for the educational purposes. That is, he developed to communicate with his students. It is implemented with the microkernel, so the name is Minix. Next comes the Linux. As already said, it is a free software. That free software, it is being defined by the FSF, that is Free Software Foundation. Tools freely used, read, modified and redistributed. Free means it is everything is free. You can use free, you can read free, you can modify free, and you can redistribute them freely. GNU, established in 1984 by Richard Stallman. A person, Richard Stallman, he establishes the GNU in the year 1984. He developed the first free GNU-C compiler in 1991. What does GNU means? It is a recursive acronym for GNU's not Unix. It is just a recursive expansion. It does not have its own expansion like. So what is the main aim of developing this GNU is to develop a complete Unix-like OS, but it should be free for copying and modification. Unix is very good, but it is costly. You have to wait if you face some error. So this Richard Stallman person, he developed this GNU in the aim to develop a Unix-like operating system, but that should be free for copying and modification. That's the main aim. So he developed this GNU. And since why the GNU come into existence means Unix has been started at the process of licensing in the year 1980s and 90s. So very great disadvantages faced by the persons. So in 91, Linus Torvalds, he released the Linux kernel as a free open source software. As already said in the previous slides, open source means the code is fully visible and it can be modified and redistributed. This Linus Torvalds person, he inspired by the Minix and he developed his own Linux OS. Come into the Linux. So in 1991, Linus Torvalds, he was a 21-year student at the University of Helsinki, Finland. He worked on and developed his own kernel. So he is called Linus Torvalds, he is called as the principal of the Linux kernel. He is a person. Mainly, it is of multi-user, multitasking and time sharing. He is inspired by a replacement of Minix, and Linus Minix is abbreviated as Linux. Linus is a person's name and the basics of Linux is Minix, so the name is Linux. It consists of Linux kernel, GNU, software package management and other utilities. So Linux is a kernel, it is not the entire operating system. So what is meant by kernel means it provides an interface between the hardware and I/O request from the applications. The rest of the OS usually includes many GNU libraries, utilities and other software from the Free Software Foundation. So combination of GNU and Linux is we are currently using. The kernel only is by the name Linux. The rest of the tools are developed under this GNU project.